Hey everyone, welcome back to Native Speakers Channel. I'm Johnny, and I'm so excited you're here with us today. We've got a really important and practical lesson lined up for you. Today, we're going to talk about something that many people find challenging but absolutely essential for career growth: how to ask for a raise or promotion in English. This is a conversation that can be nerve-wracking, even for native speakers, but with the right preparation and language skills, you can approach it with confidence. I'm joined by my good friend Sarah, and we're going to walk you through everything you need to know. So grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's dive into this important topic together.
Thanks, Johnny. I'm really glad we're covering this topic because asking for a raise or promotion is something that so many people struggle with. Whether you're working in an English-speaking country or in an international company where English is the business language, knowing how to have this conversation professionally can make a huge difference in your career.
Absolutely, Sarah. And you know what? The interesting thing is that this isn't just about language skills. It's also about strategy, timing, and confidence. But having the right English vocabulary and phrases definitely gives you a strong foundation to build on.
That's so true. So let's start with the basics. First, let's talk about the difference between asking for a raise and asking for a promotion because they're related but not quite the same thing.
Good point. So a raise, sometimes called a pay raise or salary increase, is when you ask for more money for doing your current job. You're not necessarily changing your position or your responsibilities, you're just asking to be compensated more for what you're already doing.
Exactly. And a promotion is when you're asking to move up to a higher position in the company. This usually comes with more responsibilities, a new job title, and typically, yes, more money too. But the focus is on advancing your career level.
Right. Now, of course, sometimes you might ask for both at the same time. You might say something like, "I believe I'm ready to take on the role of senior marketing manager, and I'd like to discuss the compensation that would come with that promotion."
Perfect example. Now, before we get into the actual conversation with your boss, let's talk about preparation. This is absolutely crucial. You can't just walk into your manager's office and say, "Hey, I think I deserve more money." You need to build a strong case.
That's the key word there. Case. You need to think of this like you're a lawyer presenting evidence. What have you accomplished? How have you added value to the company? What makes you deserving of this raise or promotion?
Exactly. So let's talk about how to prepare. First, you want to document your achievements. Make a list of all your major accomplishments over the past year or since your last race. Be specific with numbers and results whenever possible.
Yes. So instead of saying, "I worked hard on the marketing campaign," you'd say something like, "I led the spring marketing campaign that increased our customer engagement by 35% and brought in 50 new clients, resulting in $200,000 in additional revenue."
Perfect. See how much more powerful that is? You're giving concrete evidence of your value. Another important thing to research is salary benchmarks. You want to know what people in similar positions at other companies are making.
This is really important because it gives you objective data to support your request. You can use websites like Glassdoor, PayScale, or LinkedIn Salary to research this. Then you can say something like, "Based on my research, the market rate for someone with my experience and responsibilities is between $75,000 and $85,000.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about timing. When is the right time to ask for a raise or promotion?
Well, the best time is usually during your annual performance review. That's when your boss is already evaluating your performance and thinking about your future with the company. It's a natural time to have this conversation.
That's ideal, but if your performance review isn't coming up soon, other good times might be after you've just completed a major successful project, after you've taken on significant additional responsibilities, or when your company is doing well financially.
Good point about the company's financial situation. You probably don't want to ask for a raise right after the company announced budget cuts or layoffs. Timing really matters.
Definitely. Now, let's talk about how to actually request the meeting. You don't want to surprise your boss with this conversation. You should schedule a formal meeting.
Right. You might send an email that says something like, "Hi, Jennifer, I'd like to schedule a meeting with you to discuss my role and compensation. Would you have 30 minutes available sometime next week? Please let me know what works best for your schedule."
That's professional and clear. You're giving your boss a heads up about what you want to discuss, and you're being respectful of their time by scheduling in advance.
Exactly. Now, let's role play the actual conversation. Sarah, why don't you play the employee asking for a raise and I'll be the manager?
Sounds good. Okay, so thank you so much for meeting with me today, Johnny. I really appreciate you taking the time. I wanted to discuss my current role and my compensation. As you know, I've been with the company for 2 years now, and I've really enjoyed growing with the team.
Good start. You're being polite, expressing gratitude, and stating your purpose clearly. Continue.
Over the past year, I've taken on several additional responsibilities beyond my original job description. I'm now managing the entire social media strategy. I've trained 3 new team members, and I've been leading our weekly client presentations.
I like how you're outlining the expanded responsibilities. That's important.
I'm really proud of the results we've achieved. Our social media engagement has increased by 45%. We've gained 10,000 new followers, and the client feedback scores have improved from an average of 3.8 to 4.6 out of 5.
Excellent. You're backing everything up with specific numbers and measurable results. This is exactly what managers want to hear.
I've done some research on industry standards, and I've found that professionals in similar roles with my level of experience and responsibilities typically earn between $65,000 and $75,000. I'm currently making $58,000, which is below that range.
Good use of market research there. You're showing that your request is based on objective data, not just your feelings.
Given my contributions and the market rates, I'd like to request a salary increase to $68,000. I believe this would bring my compensation in line with the value I'm providing to the company. What are your thoughts?
That's a strong request. You've stated a specific number, explained your reasoning, and then, this is important, you've opened it up for discussion by asking for their thoughts. You're not demanding, you're having a professional conversation.
Thanks. Now, Johnny, as the manager, what would you say?
Well, there's several ways this could go. Let me give you a few different responses, and we'll talk about how to handle each one. First, the positive response. Sarah, I really appreciate you bringing this to my attention. You've clearly put a lot of thought into this, and I agree that you've been doing excellent work. Let me review your proposal and discuss it with HR. I think we can definitely work something out. Can we follow up in a week?
Oh, that's a great response. If your manager responds like this, you should definitely express gratitude and confirm the follow-up. You might say, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate your consideration. Yes, let's definitely follow up next week. Should I send you a calendar invite for the same time?"
Perfect. You're being proactive about the follow-up, which shows you're serious and organized. Now, let me give you a different response, the "not right now" response. Sarah, I hear what you're saying, and I do recognize your contributions. However, we're in a budget freeze right now, and I don't have the authority to approve raises until the next fiscal year. But I'd like to revisit this conversation in 6 months.
Okay, so this is a soft no or a not now. How should someone handle this?
This is where you need to stay professional and not get discouraged. You might say something like, "I understand the budget constraints. I appreciate your willingness to revisit this conversation. In the meantime, is there anything specific I should focus on or any goals I should work toward that would strengthen my case when we have this discussion again?"
That's smart. You're accepting their answer gracefully, but you're also getting clarity on what you need to do to improve your chances next time.
Exactly. And here's another possible response, the counteroffer. Sarah, I think $68,000 is a bit higher than what I can approve right now, but I can offer you $62,000. Would that be acceptable?
Okay, so negotiation time. You don't have to immediately say yes to the first counteroffer. You could respond with something like, I appreciate that offer, and it's definitely a step in the right direction. Would it be possible to meet somewhere in the middle, perhaps at $65,000? I'm also open to discussing other forms of compensation, such as additional vacation days or professional development opportunities.
Excellent negotiation. You're showing flexibility and creativity. You're not just focused on the base salary, you're thinking about the total compensation package.
Right, and sometimes companies that can't move much on salary might be more flexible with things like extra vacation days, remote work options, a better job title, stock options, or a performance bonus structure.
That's a really important point. Sometimes a no on salary doesn't mean no on everything. Let's talk about some other phrases and vocabulary that are useful in these conversations.
Good idea. So when you're talking about your accomplishments, here are some strong phrases you can use. I spearheaded the project to, I successfully implemented. I exceeded my targets by, I took the initiative to, I've consistently delivered.
Those are great. And when you're discussing your value to the company, you might say, I've added value by. My contributions have resulted in. I've helped the company achieve. I've gone above and beyond by. I've demonstrated my commitment to.
Perfect. And when you're actually making your request, here are some professional ways to phrase it. I'd like to discuss the possibility of, I believe I've earned, I'm requesting a salary adjustment to, I'd like to be considered for, I'm ready to take on the responsibilities of.
Great examples. Now let's discuss what not to do when asking for a raise or promotion.
Oh, this is important. First, don't make it personal or emotional. Don't say things like, I need more money because my rent went up, or my colleague just bought a new car and I want one too. Your personal financial needs aren't your employer's problem.
Exactly. Keep it professional and focused on the value you bring to the company. Also, don't threaten to quit unless you're actually prepared to leave. Saying something like, if you don't give me a raise, I'm going to start looking for other jobs, can really backfire.
Yes, that's seen as unprofessional and manipulative. However, if you do have another job offer, that's different. You can say something like, I want to be transparent with you. I've received an offer from another company for $70,000, but I really value working here and would prefer to stay if we can work something out.
That's a more professional approach. Another mistake is comparing yourself to your colleagues. Don't say, John got a raise last month, so I should get one too. Everyone's situation is different, and your manager probably can't discuss other employees' compensation with you anyway.
Good point. And don't be vague or apologetic. Don't say things like, I'm sorry to bother you, but I was wondering if maybe, possibly, I could get a small raise. You need to be confident and clear about what you want.
Absolutely. Confidence is key. You're not begging, you're having a professional business discussion about your compensation based on your value and market rates.
Let's also talk about body language and tone because that matters as much as the words you use.
Great point. When you're having this conversation, you want to maintain good eye contact, sit up straight with a confident posture, speak clearly and at a moderate pace, keep your tone friendly but professional, avoid fidgeting or looking down, smile appropriately.
Yes, your body language should convey confidence and professionalism. You're worth this raise or promotion, and your demeanor should reflect that belief.
Now, what happens after the conversation? Let's say your manager says they need to think about it or discuss it with HR. What should you do?
First, always send a follow-up email thanking them for their time and summarizing what was discussed. You might write something like,
Thank you again for meeting with me today to discuss my compensation. As we discussed, I'm requesting a salary increase to $68,000 based on my expanded responsibilities and market research. I appreciate your consideration and look forward to hearing back from you by next Friday.
Perfect. That email serves as documentation of the conversation, reminds your manager of the specifics, and sets a clear expectation for when you'll follow up.
And if you don't hear back by that date, it's totally appropriate to send a polite follow-up. Hi, Jennifer. I wanted to follow up on our conversation about my compensation from last week. Have you had a chance to give it further thought? I'm happy to discuss this further whenever it's convenient for you.
Good. You're being persistent without being pushy. Now, let's talk about what to do if you get a flat-out no.
This is tough, but it happens. If your manager says no and doesn't offer any alternatives or a timeline for reconsideration, you need to ask some important questions.
Right. You might say, "I'm disappointed to hear that, but I appreciate your honesty. Can you help me understand what I would need to do differently to be considered for a raise in the future? Are there specific goals or benchmarks I should aim for?"
That's excellent. You're getting actionable feedback that you can work on, and then you need to decide, are you willing to stay at your current salary while you work toward those goals, or is it time to start looking for other opportunities elsewhere?
That's a personal decision everyone has to make for themselves. There's nothing wrong with looking for other opportunities if you feel you're not being fairly compensated. But if you do decide to leave, try to do it professionally and give proper notice.
Absolutely. Burning bridges is never a good idea. You never know when you might cross paths with these colleagues again in the future.
So true. Let's do one more role play, but this time let's focus on asking for a promotion rather than just a raise. Sarah, I'll be the employee this time.
Sounds good. Go ahead, Johnny.
Hi, Sarah. Thanks for making time to meet with me. I wanted to talk to you about my career path here at the company. I've been in my current role as marketing coordinator for 3 years now, and I feel I've grown significantly during that time.
I'm glad you brought this up. I'm always interested in discussing career development with my team members. What were you thinking?
Well, I've been thinking about the senior marketing coordinator or possibly even a marketing manager role. Over the past year, I've essentially been performing many of the duties that would typically fall under those positions. I've been managing our team's projects, mentoring junior staff, and I recently led the rebranding initiative that you praised at our last meeting.
Those are all good points. What makes you think you're ready for that next level?
I believe I've demonstrated the leadership skills and strategic thinking necessary for a more senior role. In addition to my regular responsibilities, I've managed a team of 5 people, I've improved our project completion rate by 30%, and I've implemented new processes that have saved the department about 10 hours per week. I'm also completing my certification in digital marketing strategy, which I'll finish next month.
That's impressive. Have you thought about what kind of timeline you're looking at?
Ideally, I'd love to be considered for the next opening in the senior coordinator or manager position. I understand that might not happen immediately, but I wanted to express my interest and get your thoughts on what else I might need to do to position myself for that advancement.
That's very thoughtful of you to plan ahead. Let me discuss this with the department head and HR, and let's schedule another meeting in 2 weeks to talk about creating a development plan for you.
That sounds great. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. I'll send you a calendar invite for 2 weeks from now.
Excellent role play, Johnny. You did several things really well there. You expressed your interest in advancement, you provided concrete examples of why you're ready, you asked about the timeline and next steps, and you showed enthusiasm without being pushy.
And notice that when asking for a promotion, it's often helpful to express interest even before a specific position opens up. That way, you're on your manager's radar when opportunities do arise.
Absolutely. Being proactive about your career development shows initiative and ambition, qualities that companies value in employees they're considering promoting.
Let's wrap up with some final tips for our viewers. First, remember that asking for a raise or promotion is normal and professional. It's not rude or inappropriate. It's a standard part of career management.
Second, preparation is everything. Do your research, document your accomplishments, practice what you're going to say, and know your worth.
Third, timing matters. Choose the right moment, schedule a proper meeting, and give your manager time to consider your request.
Fourth, be specific about what you want. Don't be vague. State a clear number or position you're seeking.
Fifth, focus on your value to the company, not your personal financial needs. This is a business conversation, not a personal one.
Sixth, be prepared for different responses. Yes, no, maybe, or a counteroffer. Know how you'll handle each scenario.
And finally, stay professional regardless of the outcome. Whether you get what you asked for or not, maintain a positive attitude and continue doing excellent work.
These are skills that will serve you throughout your entire career, not just in one conversation. The more you practice advocating for yourself professionally, the easier it becomes.
Absolutely. And remember, even if English isn't your first language, using these phrases and strategies will help you communicate effectively and confidently.
Before we go, I want to remind everyone that it's normal to feel nervous about these conversations. Even native English speakers get butterflies when asking for a raise.
So true, but preparation and practice make a big difference. Try practicing with a friend or family member before the real conversation. The more comfortable you are with the language and the structure of the conversation, the more confident you'll feel.
And if you don't get the raise or promotion you asked for this time, don't give up. Ask for specific feedback, work on those areas, and try again in 6 months or a year. Persistence and continuous improvement are key to career advancement.
Well, everyone, that's our lesson for today. We hope this has given you the language tools, strategies, and confidence you need to have these important career conversations in English. If you found this helpful, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to Native Speakers channel, and let us know in the comments what other workplace English topics you'd like us to cover.
Yes, we love hearing from you. And remember, investing in your English skills is investing in your career. Keep practicing, stay confident, and don't be afraid to advocate for yourself.
Thanks so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you in the next lesson. Until then, keep learning and keep growing.
Bye, everyone!